Glass marbles are objects of incredible beauty, with interior designs that can look almost impossible. These small glass spheres are not only a source of entertainment, they are also used in different industrial applications. Producing them requires large quantities of molten glass, precise temperature control, and specialized machinery. But how are glass marbles actually made? We visited a glass factory and the workshop of a skilled artisan to discover exactly how these colorful spheres are created. Marbles have a very ancient history. It is believed that people in ancient Egypt already used them, and both the Greeks and Romans also played with similar objects. Their earliest forms may have been connected to religious or ceremonial purposes, but over time they became a popular game. The first marbles were made from clay, stone, and actual marble. Today, glass is the main material because it is versatile, durable, inexpensive, and capable of producing a huge variety of colors and patterns. In most factories, production begins with recycled glass. It may come from beer bottles, perfume containers, decorative objects, broken products, or even marbles that were defective or damaged. Before production begins, the glass is separated by color because the recycled material will influence the appearance of the final product. The process starts inside a massive furnace. The recycled glass is heated to approximately 2,732 degrees Fahrenheit. At this temperature, the solid pieces melt into a thick, glowing liquid that flows through the furnace like a slow-moving river. Its consistency must be carefully controlled. The glass needs to be fluid enough to move, but thick enough to hold its shape when cut. If the temperature is too low, the molten material becomes too thick to flow correctly. If it is too high, it becomes too runny, and the marbles may not form properly. Before the transparent glass reaches the end of the furnace, colored glass is introduced. It melts beside the clear glass, but does not completely disperse. Instead, it remains visible inside the transparent material, creating the decorative stripes known as the classic cat's eye pattern. The melting process takes about 16 hours. Once the glass is ready, it exits through a small opening. As the glowing stream emerges, a heat-resistant carbon blade cuts it about every half second. Each hot fragment will eventually become one marble. The cutting interval is adjusted according to the desired size. For smaller marbles, the blade cuts more frequently. For larger ones, it waits longer, allowing more molten glass to pass through. The pieces then fall into a channel containing rotating iron rollers or specially shaped grooves. These prevent the fragments from sticking together while gradually rounding the soft glass into spheres. As the marbles move through this section, they begin to cool and their internal patterns become visible. The outside hardens first, forming a thin shell that helps keep the clear and colored glass separated. Inside, the glass remains soft for longer. As each sphere rotates across the rollers, the colored glass twists within the clear material. This creates the curved lines, ribbons, and unusual shapes that make every marble slightly different. By the time the marbles reach the end of the rollers, they are still around 932 degrees Fahrenheit. They slide down a ramp and enter a container where they continue hardening gradually. At this stage, they are firm enough to roll without losing their shape, but still hot enough to ignite paper on contact. Complete cooling takes approximately 24 hours and must happen slowly from the outside toward the center. If the marbles cooled too quickly, the interior and exterior would contract at different rates. This could create stress and cause the glass to crack or shatter. Slow cooling allows the temperature to equalize and makes the finished marble stronger. Once the marbles are cool enough to handle, a worker performs quality control. This inspection is done completely by hand. Every piece is checked individually, and any marble that is cracked, chipped, misshapen, or missing its decorative stripes is removed. The approved marbles are then sent to a packaging machine. Bags are filled with pieces in different colors and sizes, sealed, and prepared for shipping to stores and consumers. This industrial method is the most common, but it is not the only way to make marbles. Another process involves injecting colored glass paste before the outer glass cools and hardens. This also creates unusual internal patterns. However, the most complex and impressive marbles are usually handmade by experienced glass artisans who build the design one layer at a time. The handmade process begins by preheating clear glass inside a furnace. After remaining there overnight, the glass becomes fully molten. The artisan gathers a small amount with a steel rod and combines it with a piece of preheated colored glass. The materials are worked together into a single mass, which is stretched into a strand, sometimes no thicker than a noodle. One strand can reach approximately 16 feet in length. Once it hardens, the strand is cut into several sections. The artisan repeats the process using different colors. These glass strips will later form part of the marble's interior. Next, another portion of molten clear glass is gathered on a metal rod. The glowing mass is shaped with folded sheets of wet newspaper. The moisture protects the artisan's hands and makes it possible to smooth the surface. The clear glass is then rolled across several preheated colored strips. They attach to the hot surface, and the mass is returned to the furnace so the new layer can fuse. This step may be repeated 3 times, adding different colors during each cycle. Between heating stages, the glass is rolled across a metal table to keep the surface smooth and even. More clear glass is added over the colored sections. The completed mass is stretched until it reaches about 20 inches in length. Several smaller pieces are cut from it, and each one becomes the decorative core of a future marble. The artisan takes a core about 2 inches long and rolls it across thicker colored strips. It is rotated inside the furnace until the strips begin to melt. Outside the furnace, the softened glass is pressed with metal tools. Excess material is removed, and the entire core is covered with another layer of clear glass. The core is shaped again with wet newspaper, rolled across more colored strips, and returned to the furnace. Another coating of transparent glass is added, completing the interior design. Now the artisan forms the final sphere. Metal and wooden tools are used to round the glass carefully. The diameter is measured repeatedly so the marble stays symmetrical and reaches the desired size. Once finished, the sphere is separated from the remaining glass rod. The rough spot left by the separation is reheated and melted smooth. The marbles are then placed inside an annealing oven at approximately 986 degrees Fahrenheit. The oven cools very slowly over several hours. This controlled process strengthens the glass and reduces internal stress. The result can be a marble about the size of a golf ball with remarkable clarity, detailed colors, and an extremely high level of craftsmanship. Some handmade marbles are treated as decorative objects or collectibles rather than toys. Whether made by industrial machines or by hand in a small workshop, the result is extraordinary. These transparent spheres contain unique shapes that seem to float inside the glass. The fine curved lines are called cat's eyes because they resemble the narrow shape of a feline pupil. Today, marbles are available in many sizes, colors, and styles. Because of the way the glass twists, cools, and fuses, no 2 internal patterns are perfectly identical. Even factory-made marbles contain small differences, while handmade pieces can be completely unique. Large collections are easy to find, with mixed colors and designs sold in a single package. Handmade marbles are ideal for collectors who want the most detailed, unusual, and carefully crafted pieces. Have you ever played with marbles? Would you like to take part in making one? Share your opinion in the comments. If you enjoyed learning how glass marbles are made, leave a like and share the video with someone who may find it interesting. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to continue discovering how everyday objects are created.